Anish, we can't hear you.
Great. Hi, everyone. We are back again with another InCyber session. I am Manish Krishnan, Head of Marketing here at QKS Group. I welcome you all to today's session, the autonomous SOC, AI-driven operations as the engine of cyber resilience. Once again, thank you all for joining us. For those who joined us last week, our session on zero trust in the age of AI, securing identity, access, and autonomous agents. Welcome back. In that webinar, we explored how zero trust must evolve to secure human machines and AI entities in an increasingly AI-driven enterprise. Well, today we are continuing the cybersecurity journey by focusing on the security operations centers, the front line of cyber defense. As cyber threats become faster, more sophisticated, and increasingly AI-enabled, traditional SOC models are struggling to keep pace. Organizations are now looking beyond automation towards AI-driven autonomous security operations that can accelerate detection, investigation, and response while strengthening overall cyber resilience. Well, in today's session, we are exploring how AI is transforming SOC operations, where organizations should prioritize AI adoption, and how to implement autonomous SOC capabilities while maintaining governance, trust, and human oversight. I'm delighted to introduce our speakers to today. We have Dr. Andrew Ecken, Associate Vice President and Principal Advisor. Along with him, we have Sophia Ali, Associate Director and Principal Advisor here at QKS Group. Together, they will share practical insights from enterprise advisory engagements, biointelligence, and real-world security implementation to help you build a more resilient, AI-driven SOC. With that, let's get started, and over to you, team.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining QKS Group for this advisory-led webinar on the autonomous SOC, AI-driven operations as the engine of cyber resilience. I am Dr. Andrew Ecken, and I'll be presenting with my colleague, Sophia Ali. Say hi, Sophia. So our goal today is not to give you another technology buzzword session. We want to translate the autonomous SOC conversation into practical decisions regarding what is changing in cybersecurity operations, where AI-driven capabilities can deliver measurable value, what governance has to be in place, and how leaders should prioritize their investments. By the end, you should have a clear view of how to move from reactive security monitoring toward a more resilient AI-enabled operating model without losing control, accountability, or human judgment. So let me frame this session before we get into the details. We will start with why the traditional SOC model is under pressure. That includes faster attack cycles, expanding digital environments, alert overload, fragmented tooling, and adversaries who are increasingly using AI themselves. And we will define what autonomous SOC means, because the term is used loosely in the market. We will separate basic automation from AI assistance and governed autonomy. Next, Sophia and I will walk through the highest value use cases, alert enrichment, triage, investigation, risk prioritization, guided response, and safe containment. We will then shift into governance and implementation. That is the heart of this session. The question is not simply, can AI do this? The better question is, where should it do this? Under what control model? And with what measurable outcomes?
Yeah, so thank you for the introduction, Andrew and Anish, and hello, everyone. So we will start by talking about the SOC pressure curve. So before we talk about the autonomous SOC, let's first understand why today's SOC is under so much pressure. Every organization is expanding its digital footprint from cloud workloads to SaaS applications, remote user identities, APIs, and third-party connections. So they all are increasing the attack surface. And at the same time, attackers are becoming faster and more sophisticated, which is increasingly using AI to automate phishing, scanning, and malware generation. The challenge here isn't that a security team lack tools. It's that they have too many disconnected signals and not enough actionable insights at one place. And because of this, analysts spend a significant portion of their day separating these genuine threats from noise instead of focusing on high risk incidents. So think of this like an airport security. So security doesn't stop every passenger for a detailed investigation. It uses intelligence to identify the few who is actually require the attention. And similarly, an autonomous SOC helps analysts to focus on incident that truly matters instead of acting on every alert. So moving to next slide, we will focus on from alert factory to resilience engine. So this slide represents the biggest shift happening in security operation today, and which is like from moving to alert factory to resilience engine. So traditionally, SOC have been designed to process alerts. So an alert can come in, an analyst investigates it, escalates it if needed, and then respond to it. The entire process is reactive in nature and often depends on manual effort. But as the attack volume is continuous growing, this approach simply isn't it sustainable anymore. So the future of SOC isn't it focused on processing more alerts, it focused on reducing business risk. And that is why we are moving from reactive monitoring to human-led investigation and to AI-assisted decision making, and where appropriate autonomous execution or response. So AI helps connect data from different security tools, which is and prioritize the incident that matters the most, and accelerate the investigation so the analyst can focus on higher value decision. So, however, I want to emphasize on one important point here. The goal is not full automation. The goal is a trusted operational autonomy, where AI helps the SOC act faster, while human continues to define policies, approve risk action, and maintain accountability. And this was regarding this slide, and we can move to next slide on which we will talk more about autonomous SOC, which that means governed operational autonomy. So one of the biggest misconception is that autonomous SOC means replacing security analyst with AI models or AI engines. And what we think as an analyst is that is not the goal. Instead, think of AI as an intelligent teammate that continuously gather evidence, analyze context, explain its reasoning, and recommend action. However, every action happens within clearly defined governance policies that is again defined by human analyst or human in loop. A mature autonomous SOC should be context aware, explainable, capable of taking appropriate action, and governed by approval boundaries and continuously learning from analyst feedback. So the keyword here is governed autonomy and not unrestricted automation. So yes, moving to next slide, we will talk about autonomous SOC, which strengthens the cyber resilience loop. So cyber resilience isn't it measured by preventing every attack. That's like unrealistic. So it measured by how quickly an organization can detect, contain, recover, and learn from cyber incidents while continuing business operations and not disrupting those operations because of security issues. So an autonomous SOC strengthens every stage of this life cycle. From detection becomes more contextual because of AI, investigations are becoming faster and more consistent, response becomes quicker but remain governed, and every incident improves future decision making. So the result isn't simply operational efficiency, it's more a resilient organization in which when an attacks come, an organization should be prepared of providing a resilient option or mitigating it through its AI powered engine or AI powered models. So moving to next slide, we will talk about highest value AI SOC use cases. So organizations shouldn't try to automate everything on day one. So the highest return usually comes from repetitive high volume activities. AI can correlate alerts, automatically enrich incidents with business context, enrich it, accelerate investigations, and building timeline, prioritize incident based on business impact, and recommend automated low risk response action, while also validating those response workflow for continuous improvement of their AI models. So, for example, if five employees receive a same phishing email, a traditional SOC might just investigate these five as separate alerts, but an autonomous SOC immediately recognizes them as a campaign and identifies the root cause and presents a single prioritized incident to the analyst. And that's where AI create immediate operational value and not moving toward more number of alerts and analyzing all the alerts. So moving to next slide, we will be talking about AI-driven detection, which is from signal to risk rank incidents. So one of the biggest misconception again here is insecurity is that more alerts mean better protection. But in reality, more alerts often create more noise. And the real objective is to make better and faster decision. An autonomous SOC here receives or achieves this by connecting signals across the environments, whether they come from endpoints, identities, cloud, or SaaS application. Instead of treating each alerts independently, AI correlates activities at business context, such as the affected user, asset criticality, vulnerabilities, and threat intelligence, and finally produce a risk-ranked incident rather than just another alert. So another capability an organization should look for is detection independence. So ask for your security team, can the platform only enrich alert which is generated by other tools, or it can actually correlate events, suppress the false positive, and identify threats that individual security solution might miss. And that's where AI begins to add the real value. So finally, success should be measured by outcomes and not by numbers of alert generated. The key metrics are higher true positives, fewer false positives, reduced false negatives, and most importantly, explainable confidence in every detection. So when an analyst understands why an incident has been prioritized, they can respond faster with much greater confidence with the help of AI engines or AI embedded into the security tools. So moving to next slide, we will talk about investigation automation. So investigation is where AI can improve analyst productivity, but only if analysts trust its conclusion. So a trustworthy investigation should never provide only an answer. It should explain the complete evidence chain from telemetry to evidence to inference, conclusion, and then finally the recommended action. So this means investigations are transparent, repeatable, and auditable. So ultimately, AI should reduce the time analysts spend collecting information so that they can focus on validation, threat hunting, and strategic security improvement. So yes, this was regarding investigation, and with this slide, we will talk about response automation. So for response automation is where an organization need to be most disciplined because they are taking action, they are taking mitigative actions towards certain threats. So speed is valuable only when actions are safe. So the maturity journey usually progresses from recommendation to approval assisted execution to fully automated response for low risk scenarios. So for example, automatically quarantining a phishing email is generally low risk, whereas disabling a privileged administrator account or modifying firewall policy usually requires human approval or human in loop for defining the policies, for making administrating, giving a privilege account to them. So all this requires a human approval. But low risk tasks, as I have mentioned about phishing email or quarantining certain kind of websites, that can be done through AI into the response automation stage. So moving to next slide, which is most important, I guess, is like human AI collaboration. So autonomous SOC doesn't eliminate security analyst or any human, it changes how they contribute. And with this, a tier one analyst will spend less time on repetitive tasks such as alert enrichment, deduplication, and false positives. Then tier two analyst focus on validating AI generated investigation and response recommendation. Then the tier three analyst can concentrate on advanced threat hunting, detection engineering, and major incident response. And when we talk about SOC leadership, they will remain responsible for governance, policy, acceptable risk, and measuring outcomes. And ultimately, AI can handle operational speed while human provide judgment, accountability, and strategic decision. So that's what make an autonomous SOC sustainable, not replacing people, but enabling them to work at a much higher level. So yeah, this was from my side, and I would like to hand it over to Andrew for taking the next part of this webinar.
Thank you, Sophia. So governance is not an afterthought. It is the core of the operating structure for autonomous SOC operation. Security leaders need explainability, so analysts and auditors understand why a decision was made. They need approval workflows, so high impact remediation does not occur without the right authorization. They need audit trails for every AI recommendation and every automated action. They need response boundaries that define what can be automated where and at what confidence level. They need model reliability and consistency checks because AI decisions can vary under different conditions. They need data access controls because security telemetry, identity data, and incident content are all highly sensitive. And they need human oversight by design, not as a manual workaround after a failure. So in our AI SOC automation criteria, autonomy depth is important, but it's not the whole story. We also look at explainability, response capability, human in the loop or human on the loop controls, integration breadth, detection independence, scalability, accuracy, deployment friction, data privacy, SOC impact, commercial model risk, coverage, customizability, and product vision. That matters because the market is full of broad claims about agentic SOC, autonomous investigation, and AI analysts. So buyers need to separate claims from operational capability. A strong solution should improve measurable outcomes, integrate into real SOC architectures, explain its reasoning, support safe responses, and earn analyst trust. For attendees that are evaluating vendors, use these criteria as a practical lens for due diligence, proof of concept design, and for roadmap planning. Next. So a maturity roadmap helps organizations avoid over-automation. The first stage is foundation, where we improve visibility, data quality, use case clarity, escalation rules, and response policy. Without that, AI may simply automate weak and ineffective processes. Second stage is assisted SOC, where AI supports summarization, enrichment, investigation, and analyst validation. This is where many organizations should start because it improves productivity while building trust. The third stage is guardrailed autonomy, where low-risk actions can be automated within defined thresholds with approvals for moderate risk actions and strong auditability. The fourth stage is resilience orchestration, where the SOC coordinates cross-domain response, validates controls, and reports outcomes in business-relevant terms. Maturity assessment is essential because it tells leaders what they are ready to automate and what must be completed first. So most enterprises aren't starting from a blank slate. They already have a SIM, XDR, EDR, NDR, identity tools, cloud security, email security, SOAR, case management, ticketing, and or threat intelligence. The autonomous SOC layer should integrate across that environment rather than require a forklift upgrade. The architecture needs to ingest context, reason across domains, recommend or execute actions, and update the systems of record. Integration depth is critical. A read-only connector that enriches an alert is useful, but it's not the same as bidirectional investigation and response. Buyers should ask how quickly new technologies can be integrated, whether APIs support read and write actions, how context can be ingested without full log duplication, and whether integrations preserve governance and audit trails. So prioritization should balance operational impact and autonomy risk. High impact, low risk use cases are good starting points because they create value quickly and allow teams to build confidence. Alert enrichment, deduplication, summarization, and investigation assistance usually fall into that category. Guided response has a higher impact but requires stronger workflow definition and approval policies. Automated containment and cross-domain orchestration can be very valuable, but they introduce greater risk if the evidence, context, and governance are not mature. This is why a use case portfolio is better than a single AI project. Define which use cases are ready now, which require process or integration work, and which should wait until the organization has more mature controls and metrics. So the first 90 days should be structured and disciplined. In the first 30 days, assess. Inventory SOC workflows, map telemetry sources, understand integration gaps, identify use cases, and document the current governance baseline. From day 31 to 60, pilot. Select 2 or 3 use cases where risk is manageable and value can be measured. Run a controlled proof of value. Measure false positive reduction, analyst effort, investigation cycle time, and escalation quality. And define human in the loop gates. From days 61 to 90, we need to operationalize what worked. Tune workflows and confidence thresholds. Expand integrations. Document response boundaries. Update runbooks and begin reporting executive level metrics. The key is to improve operational impact before expanding autonomy. So metrics are where the conversation moves from promise to proof. CISOs should track speed metrics such as mean time to detect, investigate, respond, and contain. They should track quality metrics such as false positive reduction, false negative review, and escalation accuracy. Productivity metrics should show analyst hours saved, queue reduction, and improvements in alert to analyst ratios. Autonomy metrics should show the percentage of alerts that are auto-closed, investigations completed without human input, and automation success rates. Trust metrics are equally important. This includes analyst override rate, approval rejection rate, evidence completeness, and audit exceptions. And finally, resilience metrics should connect SOC performance to attack disruption, recovery coordination, and how quickly lessons learned improve the control environment. So the market language around autonomous SOC is moving quickly. So buyers need direct questions. Ask what the system can decide autonomously today and where it defers to a human. Ask whether the investigation can be replayed with evidence, source attribution, and reasoning. Ask how destructive actions are gated, audited, limited, and reversed. Ask how accuracy is measured under realistic SOC conditions, including true positives, and false negatives. Ask which integrations are bidirectional and how long a new integration will take. Ask how customer data is isolated and how prompt injection and model security are handled. And finally, ask for measurable customer outcomes, not only demo scenarios, but MTTI, MTTR, alert reduction, and analyst productivity. Now, several pitfalls appear repeatedly. First, teams automate broken workflows. AI can accelerate a flawed process as easily as it can improve a good one. Second, teams treat AI as a black box. That hampers trust, audit, and incident reviews. Third, integration depth is overestimated. A demo may show enrichment, but operational response requires bidirectional integration. And fourth, organizations measure activity rather than outcomes. Closing more alerts doesn't matter if false negatives increase or if analysts lose trust. So you can avoid these pitfalls by starting with a maturity assessment. Select use cases carefully, require evidence and auditability, and tie the program to SOC and resilience metrics. So the 2026 SOC operating model is not just a set of tools. It is a combination of continuous context, AI-guided execution, human accountability, and resilience alignment. Continuous context means the SOC can understand the relationship among identities, assets, vulnerabilities, behaviors, alerts, and business impact. AI-guided execution means the investigation and response workflow become faster, repeatable, and measurable. Human accountability means analysts are not removed from the process. Their role changes towards supervision, validation, escalation, tuning, and improvement. Resilience alignment means that SOC performance is connected to risk management, business continuity, and recovery. That is the broader transformation. Autonomous SOC is not a destination, it is an adaptive operating model that helps the enterprise withstand and recover from cyber disruptions. So let's close with 5 recommendations. First, run a maturity assessment before selecting or expanding technology. Readiness determines which capabilities can be adopted safely. Second, prioritize use cases where volume is high, evidence is available, and response boundaries are clear. Third, require explainability, replayability, and evidence trails in every AI-driven investigation. Fourth, start with a human-approved response and move toward automation only where risk is bounded and controls are mature. And fifth, measure impact across speed, quality, productivity, trust, and resilience. The outcome is not AI for its own sake. The outcome should be for faster, smarter, safer security operations that materially improve the enterprise's ability to withstand and recover from cyber disruption. So, if you like, you can engage with us further by participating in a QKS Group AI Readiness Benchmark and Assessment, which leads to a complimentary advisory workshop. The purpose is to help your organization understand where AI-driven SOC capabilities can deliver the greatest operational impact and what governance, integration, data, and maturity gaps must be addressed before scaling. In the assessment, We'll look at readiness across SOC workflow, maturity, telemetry, integration depth, use case fit, governance controls, human in the loop requirements, measurable outcomes, and vendor evaluation priorities. So the goal isn't to push a specific product. The goal is to give leaders a practical roadmap for safe, high impact adoption. So if this conversation has raised questions for your SOC modernization plans, this assessment would be the next logical step.
Thank you, Andrew, for providing insights and emphasizing on the AI transformation thing. So we just want to recommend organization like before investing into AI. The most important question isn't it which technology you should buy, or are they ready to adopt it successfully? So at QKS Group, we have benchmarked 350 plus enterprise across 18 countries, backed by over a decade of research, helping organizations make informed AI transformation decisions. So that's why we are offering a complimentary AI readiness assessment, as Andrew has mentioned, and it evaluates your organizations across 7 key capability pillars, benchmark your maturity against industry peers, and provide a clear diagnostic of where you stand. And this is followed by 1 hour of executive workshop led by former CAIOs, CISOs, where we review the findings, identify capability gap, prioritize high impact use cases, and outline a practical roadmap tailored to your organization maturity. So the objective is simple here, is to help you scale with AI with confidence, governance, and measurable business value. So moving to next slide, I guess, yeah, we have this QR scanner. So every organization's AI journey is different, and which is why the same roadmap doesn't work for everyone. So before making your next technology or transformation decision, take a structured look at your readiness across 7 assessment pillars. And if today's discussion resonate with you, we would be delighted to conduct a complimentary AI readiness assessment and advisory workshop. Simply scan this QR code or reach out to us. We look forward to continue this conversation further with many of you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sophia, and thank you, Andrew. To all those who are watching us live today, this is an exclusive offer to our attendees today, and do check this out. It is worth your time. And as we conclude towards session, I would like to sincerely thank all of you joining us and being a part of today's discussion. Well, today's conversation highlighted that the future of cyber resilience is not just about responding to threats faster, but rather it's about building intelligent, AI-driven security operations that can detect, investigate, and respond to greater speed. With that confidence while maintaining governance and, of course, human oversight. A special thanks to Sophia and Andrew for sharing valuable insights and practical guidance on how organization can evolve towards an autonomous SOC and strengthening their cyber resilience for the AI era. Do stay updated to our latest research, insights, and upcoming webinars, and follow us on LinkedIn at qksgroup.com. And we look forward to having you all in our future sessions as well. So once again, thank you and have a great